The IRS comes out and answers questions, the unanswered questions about how in the world they're going to apply the $10,200 exclusion of unemployment income from taxes in 2020. There were all these questions, right? Did a video about it last week, talked about it on the Wise Money Show over the weekend, and the IRS has come out and answered a bunch of questions. I'll explain and give you those answers coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. So, all right, this is the first of 3 videos I'm going to do here right in a row about why wait to file your taxes, why you might want to wait. Still get them done, get them prepared so you can see what's going on, but you may want to wait to actually sign those e-files and file it. And coincidentally, had that idea, a colleague of mine, Kevin Korhorn, shared, hey, what about talking about this? Love it, love it. And then last night, the IRS issues an update, basically explaining and even contradicting some of their earlier statements, answering a whole bunch of the questions. So before I get into that and everything that we now know, let me just set the stage again. The American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, that was just passed, you know it as the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan, allowed for $10,200 per person of unemployment income in 2020 to not be federally taxed, okay, to be excluded from federal tax. However, you needed to qualify in order to receive this benefit, and to qualify, your modified adjusted gross income needed to be below $150,000. So it was great. It was great. And basically the questions that I shared with you last time was, all right, how are they going to determine the $150,000? Is unemployment part of that or not? And the IRS actually came out before yesterday and said, yeah, we're going to include the unemployment income as we're counting, as we're tallying up that 150. And there were several other questions like that. And like I said, yesterday they came out with this update. Check it out here on the screen. The link is below if you want to read through it. If you're like me, you're going to need to read through it like 8 or 9 times because it just doesn't make sense, and it's a looping conversation, so it's very, very complicated, but it answers a whole bunch of questions. The biggest question that is answered is none of your unemployment income is included when they're counting up and tallying up whether you make $150,000 or not. None of it. That's a complete contradiction to what they had said the day before, where they were counting it. So that means if your income was $170,000 and $20,000 of it was unemployment, you now qualify because that $20,000 is not factored in. You remove that from your income. Now your income is $150,000, or hopefully it's a touch less, and that means $10,200 of that unemployment is now federally not taxed. That's an enormous deal. That is an enormous deal. Number 2, the other big update that they came out with yesterday and included in this announcement is they had already said you're going to be able to amend. If you already filed, you claim this as income, you're going to be able to amend. Now they said, yeah, you can amend, but don't even do it. We will automatically recalculate your taxes for you if you already filed. We'll automatically issue you a refund. Now that's great. To me, that's great news. And for all of you that already filed and saying, gosh, I missed out on this, whatever, they're going to take care of it. They didn't tell us when. They still haven't updated their system yet, but I can tell they're getting close. And so hopefully there will be an announcement coming up in the next week or 2 saying that their systems are updated and they'll start pushing out these refunds, and you won't need to amend if you already filed this. So those are the big updates. Now to the planning. What do you do? Now that we know that unemployment income is excluded from calculating your modified adjusted gross income and whether you're below that $150,000 income threshold, now's when the planning work begins. Number 1, if you're below that threshold now, for sure, without a doubt, and you've delayed filing your taxes, great. You can file right now. You'll have to report your unemployment income and you'll get a smaller refund, and then they'll make their automatic adjustment and send you another refund. Or if it's me and you know you're below the $150,000 threshold, I would just wait. I would wait, because the IRS is making progress on this. I would expect in a week or two, hopefully even less, they've got their system updated and you can actually file a return with their new worksheet that they said they're coming up with right now, so that you can file with excluding this $10,200 of unemployment income. So to me, if you are below this threshold and you haven't filed yet, I'd probably just wait. I'd wait another week or two until the IRS announces, hey, we're good, our system's updated, go ahead and file. If you are if you're way above the limit, if your income is, $200,000 or $250,000 and you had unemployment income, despite these answers, despite this clarity here, my guess is there may not be much planning that you can do to get you below that level. Depends on your circumstance. If you did a coronavirus related distribution, if you did some other things that maybe can be undone, sit down with your certified financial planner and discuss whether there are any options. But most likely, if your income's way above that $150,000 threshold, like $50,000 or $100,000 above, unless you did a coronavirus related distribution or something else, which you probably aren't going to want to unwind anyway, you likely will have to pay the tax on this $10,200 of unemployment. But if you're close, and I'm talking to those of you whose adjusted gross income is $155,000 or $160,000, $165,000, go talk to your certified financial planner before you file your taxes. Even though you now have some answers here, do not file your return. Get it done so we can see, so you can see how close am I. But do not file it until you talk to your CFP who's doing comprehensive financial planning. Why? Because there might be some options, some opportunities for you, if you're just above that limit, to squeeze your income below that limit. Like what? IRA contribution, HSA contribution. Maybe if you're self-employed, you didn't deduct your self-employed health insurance. Maybe there are other things that could have been deducted above the line that would bring your modified adjusted gross income lower, okay? So before you file, if you're close, get your return done so you can see if you're close, but don't file it yet, because you may be able to do something that's above the line deduction in order to reduce your modified adjusted gross income and go from not qualifying to all of a sudden qualifying. Okay, so work with your certified financial planner before you file your taxes if you've had unemployment and if you're close to that threshold, $150,000 threshold. All right, there it is. To my knowledge, most states, at least Indiana, Michigan, where we are, some states don't have a state tax. Some states have always said we're not going to tax unemployment, like California. But the states who have a state tax and who tax unemployment, I think they're all still taxing unemployment. I haven't heard of any states coming out and saying, yeah, we're going to follow the feds, the federal government's changes here and omit this from our state tax. I haven't seen that. But despite that, these are huge updates, and by not counting your unemployment towards your $150,000 threshold, tons more people will benefit from this new act, from this new benefit, and I think that's why they came up with it. And the fact that you don't need to amend, that's great news. Work with your certified financial planner. Like I said, if you're close, do some tax planning before it's too late. You have until May 17th now to fund IRAs and do some things to make sure your taxes set you up so that you take advantage of this if at all possible. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, corehorn.com. That's Corehorn with a K. wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there too, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.